Ladies and gentlemen, fight fans and aficionados, welcome to the Backlash pre-show. I'm Joe Rogan, and tonight we're in for a treat. Alongside me are the legendary Will Smith and the incomparable Mr. Beast. We're diving deep into the buildup of each match, dissecting the drama, the intensity, and the pure spectacle. From the electrifying to the downright disappointing, we're here to rate it all as either a trash or a treat. So sit back, buckle up, and get ready for a wild ride through the world of professional wrestling. All right, folks, let's break down this U.S. Championship storyline between Austin Theory and Bobby Lashley. What a roller coaster ride it's been.
Absolutely, Joe. Austin Theory emerges as the new U.S. champion, winning a chaotic four-way match in Week 1 on Raw. That's one way to make an impact.
But then in Week 2, Bobby Lashley, the almighty force, steps up and defeats Theory. Talk about a reality check for the young champ.
Indeed, Will. Now, we're heading into Backlash with Lashley challenging Theory for the U.S. Championship. It's a classic clash of youth versus experience.
But let's not forget the added layer, guys. On the same night Theory lost to Lashley, we saw the unexpected team-up of Lashley and Nikki Ash defeating Dominic Mysterio and Carmella. That's some serious momentum for Lashley.
True, Mr. Beast. And while Theory may have the speed and agility, Lashley brings the brute force and championship pedigree. It's a tough mountain to climb for the young champ.
All right, gentlemen, let's weigh the pros and cons of this storyline. On the positive side, we've got an intriguing dynamic between the established powerhouse Lashley and the up-and-coming Theory. It's a classic wrestling tale of mentorship versus ambition.
But on the flip side, Joe, some might argue that Theory's reign as U.S. champion was too short-lived to truly establish him as a credible title holder, and Lashley's dominance could overshadow the potential for a competitive match.
Exactly, Mr. Beast. While the storyline has its moments of excitement, it's also faced criticism for its rushed pacing and lack of build-up for Theory as champion.
All right, gentlemen, time to render our verdict. Is this storyline a treat or trash for the fans?
I'd say it's a treat. Despite its flaws, the potential for an intense showdown between Lashley and Theory at Backlash is too enticing to ignore.
I agree, Mr. Beast. It's definitely a treat. The clash of styles and the stakes involved make this a must-watch match.
Well, there you have it, folks. Despite its shortcomings, the Lashley vs. Theory storyline gets a treat rating from our panel. Let's see how it all plays out at Backlash. All right, folks, let's dive into this intricate web of alliances and rivalries as we discuss the road to Backlash. The Usos find themselves in quite the predicament, holding both the Raw and SmackDown Tag Championships.
It's a unique situation, Joe. Week 1 on Raw, RK Bro managed to defeat the Usos with the Dirty Dogs stirring up trouble at the end of the match. That's got to leave a bitter taste for the champions.
And on SmackDown, Giovanni Vinci emerges as a formidable challenger, defeating Jey Uso, and then continuing his assault after the match. Vinci's mind games are next level.
Absolutely will. But let's not forget the back and forth between RK Bro and the Usos, with RK Bro securing another victory on Raw Week 2. The pressure is mounting for the champions.
And then there's the twist with Imperium, a SmackDown team, challenging the Usos for the Raw Tag Championships at Backlash. It's an unexpected turn of events.
Indeed, Mr. Beast. Despite being from SmackDown, Imperium, led by Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser, are gunning for gold on Raw turf. It adds another layer of intrigue to an already complex storyline.
All right, let's weigh the positives and negatives of this storyline. On one hand, we have the compelling drama surrounding the Usos as dual champions, facing threats from all sides. It keeps the audience guessing.
But on the flip side, Joe, some might argue that the storyline feels a bit convoluted, with multiple teams vying for the spotlight. It could potentially dilute the focus on the championship matches.
That's a valid point, Mr. Beast. While the storyline offers plenty of twists and turns, it also runs the risk of becoming too cluttered, with too many moving parts.
All right, gentlemen, time to deliver our final verdict. Is this storyline a treat or trash for the fans?
I'd say it's a treat. Despite its complexities, the storyline keeps fans engaged with its unpredictability and high stakes.
I agree, Mr. Beast. It's a treat. The drama surrounding the Usos, RK Bro, Dirty Dogs, Giovanni Vinci, and Imperium sets the stage for an explosive showdown at Backlash.
Well, there you have it, folks. Despite its potential pitfalls, the multi-layered storyline surrounding the Usos and their challengers receives a treat rating from our panel. Let's see how it all unfolds at Backlash. All right, folks, let's delve into this fresh storyline brewing on SmackDown. The Brawling Brutes have been making waves, dominating their competition in recent weeks.
Absolutely, Joe. Week 1 saw them take down Angel Gaza and Humberto in a convincing fashion. Then, in Week 2, they continued their rampage by defeating Jinder and Shanky. They're on a roll.
And let's not forget Karrion Kross making his mark on SmackDown, taking down Santos Escobar. It's been a showcase of power and dominance.
But here's where it gets interesting, gentlemen. LA Knight and Uncle Howdy, two newcomers, are suddenly thrown into the mix with no prior appearances on Raw or SmackDown. Talk about shaking things up.
It's a bold move, Joe. Bringing in fresh faces adds an element of unpredictability to the mix. But will they be able to hang with the established talent?
That's the big question, Mr. Beast. While the Brawling Brutes and Karrion Kross have been dominant, LA Knight and Uncle Howdy are untested in this environment. It's a risky gamble.
Indeed, Will. Let's weigh the pros and cons of this storyline. On one hand, we have the excitement of new blood entering the fray, injecting some much-needed energy into the SmackDown roster.
But on the flip side, Joe, some might argue that the sudden inclusion of LA Knight and Uncle Howdy feels rushed and could potentially disrupt the flow of the storyline. It's a gamble that may not pay off.
That's a valid point, Mr. Beast. While the infusion of new talent can be refreshing, it's crucial to ensure they're integrated seamlessly into the existing narrative.
All right, gentlemen, time to render our verdict. Is this storyline a treat or trash for the fans?
I'd say it's a treat. The addition of LA Knight and Uncle Howdy adds an element of surprise and anticipation to the mix.
I agree, Mr. Beast. It's a treat. The potential for unexpected alliances and rivalries makes this storyline one to watch.
Well, there you have it, folks. Despite its risks, the inclusion of LA Knight and Uncle Howdy receives a treat rating from our panel. Let's see how it all unfolds at Backlash. Welcome to the pre-show panel where we evaluate the hottest storylines leading up to Backlash. Tonight, we're diving into the rivalry between the Viking Raiders and Mace and Mansoor. Let's break it down.
Week 1 started with a bang as Mace emerged victorious over Eric, albeit with a controversial start due to Eric accidentally taking out the referee. It set the stage for an intense battle.
That's right, Mr. Beast. But in Week 2, Eric bounced back and clinched a win against Mace, despite the ejection of Mansoor and Ivar from ringside. The action was intense, showcasing the resilience of the Viking Raiders.
It's evident that both teams are hungry for victory, but does the storyline have more highs than lows?
The unpredictable nature of the matches keeps fans engaged, and the rivalry between the teams adds an extra layer of excitement to the build-up.
While the competition is fierce, the constant interference and disruptions detract from the pure athleticism we expect from wrestling. It's a turnoff for some fans.
So, panel, is this storyline a treat or trash?
Despite the negatives, I'm inclined to rate this storyline as a treat. The intensity and unpredictability have kept fans invested, and I'm excited to see how it culminates at Backlash.
Now, let's hear your predictions for the match tonight.
My bet is on the Viking Raiders. They've proven their resilience time and again, and I believe they'll emerge victorious once more.
Respectfully, I think Mace and Mansoor have something to prove. They'll come out swinging and take the win at Backlash.
Two different perspectives, two different predictions. It'll be interesting to see who comes out on top. Thanks for joining us on the pre-show panel, and let's get ready for an epic showdown at Backlash.